sorry, no, just child. Just calm yourself down. Oh, sorry, no, just child. Just calm yourself down.
Survived so much and overcome so much, and today you're such an inspiration. And I just want you to guide us kind of in the beginning of your survival. We can start with you surviving cancer in 1991,
Okay.
and just going from there. And being 25, wow, like that's so young. It must have been terrifying.
It was. Thanks for having me again, by the way.
It's my pleasure. I'm happy to have you anytime you feel like coming on. So it would be, anytime.
Thanks. So it was really scary. I was 25. I owned my gym already for 4 years. I was coaching gymnastics, operating my gymnastics facility, doing fitness training late at night, and of course, working out, which was pretty much the equivalent of bodybuilding workouts.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got that diagnosis, it was insane in my mind. The doctors were telling me that I'd be bedridden for the rest of my life, and it happened so fast. And from the time I was in the first doctor's office getting a biopsy of a mole, to the time I had an 8-hour surgery that changed my life, it was only 8 days. So my life drastically went from being super active to elevating my leg like 23 hours a day, and not being able to work for quite a while. So it was extremely scary. I did believe the doctors that I would be bedridden for the rest of my life for a short time, but then every day got better and better. And I kind of rebuilt my life, and I actually became a better gymnastics coach as a result, which is kind of odd, but I did.
It is. I was just going to ask about that, but you already touched these. How did that happen?
Well, after the surgery, I didn't go to the gym for a while. The kids that were on the team almost quit. And then somebody drove me to my gym so that I could basically be a spectator in my own gym. And then I was sitting on a chair, and then I had my leg elevated on another chair. And then the coach that was operating my gym while I was out, took the chair, and he took a chair and he brought it over to the bars. And then he said, "Let's go." I was like, "What do you mean, let's go?" He goes, "They're your kids. You've got to start coaching them." So then he took another chair over there. So I was sitting next to the uneven bars on one chair with my leg elevated on the other chair. And I started coaching sitting down because I wasn't allowed to be standing up. And I remember that day so clearly because I almost started crying because I couldn't spot the girls because I couldn't stand up. Then I had to think of other ways for them to get stronger and to learn the skills they needed to learn. So I learned a lot of drills and a lot more conditioning, so that they could be more, the training could be a lot more efficient. And with all that added conditioning and all the added drills for the skills, these kids started doing really, really well, to the point that it was a drastic change in the whole program, and they were doing extremely well at meets towards the middle and the end of that season.
That's amazing.
That was forced on me.
Your own routines, your own workouts that you created yourself?
I didn't hear the first part of that question.
Did you create them yourself, all the routines?
Yeah. It's not the routines that changed. It was the training method.
The training, right? The conditioning.
The conditioning and the drills. I mean, the drills, coaches learn drills from all over the place. There are common drills that many coaches do, at least the smart coaches. So yeah. And then I ended up writing books later on in life with a lot of these same drills that were very successful for my gymnasts.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I mean, in gymnastics, you really do excel in training. You've done so much. Do you want to just tell our audience just a little bit about it, just so
About
they're
the
more familiar with your, yes, your excellent gymnastic background?
Thank you. So I've been coaching since 1978. I was actually getting paid to coach by the time I was 13. I started coaching at 12 next to an adult coach. And then when I was 13, I actually was given classes to teach on my own. Uh, so I've been coaching more than 40 years. I think like 45 by now, or I can't do math. Um, I owned a gym for 10 years. I worked for Olympic coach Bella Caroli for 7 summers. I was his first ever female camp director. I
What was
worked in
that like? I'm
that
sorry
was
to interrupt.
amazing. It's
I'm
okay.
just curious what that's like. I always followed gymnastics. I was always a fan. And actually, in the Soviet Union, they came and chose girls by their
Yeah.
figure. And I was chosen into the
Oh,
gymnastics school. Unfortunately, when I got there, and I saw the balance beams and just the jumping that was involved, I got so scared. I was about 6 or 7. I tugged on my mother's hand and said, I can't do this.
oh,
But I
wow.
watched the Olympics with crazy passion, being like, maybe I could have done it. It's still that fear. And my daughter today, she asked me too. She says, "Why are you so scared of even just doing a cartwheel?" And then she does, like, a couple in a row, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Not everyone loves being upside down.
That's true. I don't. It's that fear of letting go for me. I can't, like, my legs have to be on the ground. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, I get it. I like being upside down. but,
I think my daughter
um,
loves it because she just
yeah.
cartwheels, and she researched and did it all herself, completely
Wow.
self-taught. And one
Wow.
day she said, I want to be a gymnast. And I'm like, okay. So she started learning these stretches, and next thing she's cartwheeling on her own. And then after her phase with gymnastics, she said, I want to be a ballerina now. So she's trained
Okay.
again, and she was just accepted into the Boston Ballet School for their
Wow.
8-year program. So she bypassed like
Wow.
7 years of everything and just got accepted into the classical ballet program.
That's amazing.
So the girl definitely has potential.
Wow.
She's 10. I don't I don't want to push it, but I think
Yeah.
she can do whatever she wants at this point. Like,
Wow. Good
with the
for her.
capacity. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like listening to you speak, I kind of hear that you had that similar drive. I mean, you've recovered
Yes.
so much, which is so inspirational to still be here, and you've never given up. What made you hold on?
Um, I haven't had a choice. You kind of have to keep going. So, literally, that's one day. Somebody said to me, "I don't know how you get out of bed every morning," because she knows, about the damage in my spine
Yeah.
and my
Yeah.
leg, and she's like
Right.
things that I've been through. And I said, "Well, I don't have a choice." She goes, "I couldn't do it." I said, "You would if you didn't have a choice." She said, "I really," and she kept going back and forth. "I don't know how you do it," and I was like, "No, I don't have a choice. I live alone, take care of myself, take care of my dog. I get up every day." So, and I push myself. So it's
But
just the
that
way it is.
drive too, you must have, love for yourself, love for life to keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm just thinking back at when I was, let's say, in my 20s, I was ready to give up and just die. Like, and I did eventually. I died from an overdose. So that's why I ask,
Wow.
what is, how are those scary instances? And you didn't just, say, fuck, hands up
Well,
in the air. I'm not even gonna, I'm just, whatever it is, I'm just gonna give up completely.
I was depressed. I did deal with a lot of depression after the cancer surgery that in that first year.
Hmm.
And I do remember telling one of my friends that I wish I didn't survive the surgery. And
Right.
at that point, he said, "It'll get better every day. You can't give up." And he
Hmm.
was right. It did get better every day. So, I mean, I still have lymphedema in my leg, but I maintain it so well that my leg looks normal. And a lot of people don't realize that that's even going on with me because, I look like I'm perfectly normal.
what are the some, without giving away all your secrets, obviously, what are the some things that you do, or how does your day really look like?
As far as maintaining that or my
Yeah,
actual
yeah,
day?
hmm
As far as, well, with lymphedema, it's actually swelling because the filters in your body, like throughout your body, aren't, they're compromised. They're either damaged or removed. So mine are at the top of my leg because the cancer was in my thigh. So that leg swells if I don't wear a compression stocking or elevate my leg. So when I'm home, I elevate my leg about 20 hours a day. When I'm out and about, I wear a compression stocking. If I know I'm going to have like an extra long day, like if my gymnasts are at a competition or something, and I know I'm going to be standing more than, a couple of hours, then I wear the heavy duty, like full length compression stocking. If it's going to be a short day, then I'll wear like, just one going up to my knee.
yeah.
And they used to only be like this big rubber thick ugly thing, but now it seems to be a common thing where people are wearing compression socks and they kind of look like pretty cool. So now I have a choice of whether I want to wear the medical grade big ugly thing or if I want to look a little bit more trendy and wear some of the lighter compression ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what I do.
Do you have do you have a special diet? Or
No, I don't label things. I eat healthy,
Mhm.
but I mean, I've never like been on a diet. You just eat fruits and vegetables, a lot of them,
Yeah,
plus some other, carbohydrates and proteins, and once in a while, a chocolate bar or something, but it's not like a diet.
I understand.
It's
Yeah.
just, I've
I
grown up
personally,
eating
yeah, I
healthy.
get it because
So,
I personally have this. I can't be on diets because anytime I put myself on a diet, I had anorexia and bulimia. So it just really spirals in that kind of. I start counting calories. I have,
oh,
it just goes really, really crazy. I don't even weigh myself now anymore. I
yeah, I
just
don't know. Yeah,
I have no idea how much I weigh. I don't get on the scale. I don't care to
good,
see. And obviously, the food I eat, it's whatever I want. And again, I don't look at the calorie count. I don't look at
good,
any. I don't do any of that.
good.
But growing up, yeah, I was so influenced, by watching the Olympics and also doing ballet, and then like my daughter does now, but not as advanced as her. And eventually I wanted to freeze my body as childlike as possible.
Okay,
um yeah, and it just food was just an enemy, and it was just this game I played in my head, and it just spiraled, and it went on for years up until I think I was, to be perfectly honest, I'd say 30. Up until I had my
wow.
daughter, I was still playing with food. It was just binging. I love to binge. I'll be candid. I pop laxatives because I wasn't good at growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it all. I did crazy things, and now that I'm appreciating my body and loving myself, and I'm in it, and I'm feeling things, and I really am enjoying it. Now I have these fears that I didn't have before.
Okay.
So you know, am I actually healthy enough, or am I? How do I heal if something bad happens, or could I possibly even, what if I do get cancer? Can I survive it? So I have this innate new kind of self awareness and fear of death, I want to say, that I did not have when I was tormenting my
Aw.
body.
I had one gymnast when I had my gym who was doing all of the conditioning, the strength training,
Hmm.
and she wasn't getting any stronger for like
Hmm.
2 months. She was really trying, and I knew something was going on. So I
Yeah.
actually called her mom and said, "Is she eating?" And the mom got so upset with me. How dare you ask if she's eating? Um, and then she pulled her out of my program. And a week later, I found out she was actually um, basically her best friend was anorexic and she was doing it with her. So
Oh
she
yeah,
was
I had a
not
best
eating.
friend who we started together. So it was like
Yeah,
a partnership when we
yeah.
were
So I basically potentially
13,
saved this
14.
kid's life, but the mom hated me for it
That's
because
so
I'm the
horrible.
only one that caught on.
Sorry.
It's
The
okay.
pollen sometimes gets in my throat. And it's
Yeah,
just been so hot. I forget to ask, what state are you in? I know where are
I'm in
you?
New Jersey.
You're in Jersey. But you
Yeah,
were actually in Massachusetts at one point.
I
I
was for
remember you
6 years.
mentioned it.
I
Yeah.
was. I didn't like it.
You didn't
Sorry.
like it. Oh, you didn't like it.
No, no. But I was there for 6 years.
Oh, wow. Do you
Yeah.
want, well, what did you do? Just so, since we're
I went
talking, we
there.
might as well include a little backstory to it, right?
Yeah, I went there for law school, did a year.
Okay.
The accident happened. I met my ex-husband, so I ended up staying there an extra 5 years for him. And then
Oh,
we,
I know how
yeah,
that works. Yeah.
yeah, then we
Yeah.
bought a house down here in New Jersey, a really nice house. And the marriage lasted another 5 years, and then we got
Hmm.
divorced. So, but yeah, I was in Massachusetts for 6 years. I actually worked in Natick and Needham, and I loved those two towns. They were really nice.
Yeah.
But the two towns I lived in, I did not like at all.
Oh, I
They were
get it.
horrible.
It
They
can be
were,
so divided between the
yeah,
towns and how they are.
yeah,
And it's just, yeah. Natick is nice. Needham is
yeah.
nice. I'm in Belmont. Belmont is great. Wellesley's great. Um,
Yes, Leslie's nice.
Wellesley's very nice. That's where I actually went to private school. I went to Dana Hall, right in Wellesley. It's
Okay.
right next to Wellesley College.
Oh, okay. I
It
used
used to
to,
be the prep school. So if you went to Dana Hall, automatically were admitted to Wellesley College. But then as the
okay.
years changed, they changed that
Oh,
to
okay.
make it more equal for everybody. Because if every single girl from Dana Hall applied to Wellesley College, I don't know. That would make up way too many people, I think.
Oh, okay.
But
When
who
I
knows? I
remember
don't know if
going to
it's.
work,
I don't even know if it's if they when they actually changed that. But I remember it was talked about that it was changed after. I think
oh,
it still
wow.
has an influence, but not automatic.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I remember when I worked in Natick, I used to go to Wellesley. I think I used to go to the post office in Wellesley or something. I used to run errands in
Hmm.
Wellesley when I worked in Natick for
Yeah.
some reason. So, but yeah, I liked that area. That was really nice.
Yeah.
So,
Um, I wanted to ask about your next injury. It was your concussion. I'm sorry. No, it was a head injury.
um, in 2000, I was in
Or
an
no, it was
accident.
accident,
Yeah,
car accident. You
no,
were
a
no.
lot of people assume car accident. It was actually a construction board that fell on my head and crushed my spine. And I ended up being disabled. I could hardly walk across a room without like having to hold on to a wall. And that's why I stopped coaching. And then a YMCA actually asked me if I could come in and coach their coaches.
Hmm.
And I told him I wasn't really, spotting or anything like that, that I could do consulting and stuff. So I came up with a program for the coaches, a handwritten program. Literally, I drew stick figures, and these coaches worked so well with it. This is actually the original book. I don't know if you can
Oh
see.
wow,
That's
I
the
see it.
original. Um, literally stick figures. I don't know if you can see
Hmm.
that at all.
No, I see it. It's
So
great. Yeah.
anyway, they worked so well with that I said to myself, well, if these coaches work this well with it, I might as well publish it. And that was actually my first drills book, which now, 6 editions later, looks like this.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I have 6 editions of that book. And all because there's one YMCA called and asked if I could do some consulting. And then after that one did really well, I came up with a handstand drills and conditioning book. And then I actually ended up with a series of 6 drills and conditioning books after that one.
That is
So that was
brilliant.
my writing career, like basically starting.
Did you struggle recovering your mind and after the accident,
Um, yes,
or was it
but not as
it was
much as you
just
would think.
it was
The fun,
something else that was more affected than just the
well, it was my back. I mean, I had a lot of herniated and bulging discs. I had fractures in two different areas of my spine. I had damage in my neck, and I had pain every day, 24 hours a day, couldn't sleep. I was on some pretty powerful medications like nerve medicine, and I was
Mhm.
on that medicine for about 20 years and felt like I was getting senile. So I stopped taking it. I didn't even tell the doctors I was stopping. So I stopped taking it, and it took a while for me to, I guess, for my brain to like get back to my normal.
Mhm.
Um, but it was the medicines that were really like making me, I don't know, I felt senile. So
Okay.
I'm glad I stopped them, but I'm still in pain every single day. So, but I have scoliosis too. So
That is
yeah,
so much for your body.
yes, yeah.
That is any conditioning tricks you might be able to share or that you do just to get some movement in your body?
Well, I do different types of workouts. Like in the
Mhm.
summer, I'll swim more. I can still actually swim. I was on the swimming team in college for 1 year. And I was a walk on. I didn't even compete in swimming in high school or grammar school or any private club.
You
But
just went for it.
my friend, my friend Suzanne said, I'm going on the phone. I'm going to the swimming tryouts tomorrow. You want to go? And I was like, Suzanne, I never competed in swimming. She she talked me into going. And the coach tried us out and said, if you can do the workouts, you can stay on the team. And we did. And for me, the workouts were actually easy.
Oh,
So
amazing.
yeah, I had a pool in my backyard my whole life. So I knew how to swim. And being a gymnast and, into fitness, the conditioning for swimming is so much easier than for gymnastics. So for me, it wasn't that hard at all. Um, I also do legs plus.
Hmm.
Okay. Those are, excuse me, exercises that involve your upper and lower body at the same time. So if you're doing, say, a squat with
Yeah.
your lower body.
Hmm.
There's also an exercise that you can combine it with for your upper body, like pushing the weights up to the ceiling or, curls or something like that. So it's really a bunch of uh, compound exercises,
Hmm.
basically. So I do that at home when I can't get to the gym. If I happen to find a swing set outside, fitness on a swing
I
set.
love that.
Yeah, I did those. I did the Legs Plus workouts and the Swing Set Fitness workouts in 2006. But I published the books later on. Um, I think I published the Legs Plus books like 10 years later or something. But I had downloadable programs on the internet for a long time before I did that. Then I also work out with weights, just traditional weight workouts. So I do a variety of things for myself. When I'm in the gym, you probably wouldn't realize how damaged my body has been because I push myself. So
Um, well, first of all, that's really amazing that you're able to do all that. Big congratulations.
thank you.
Second question, I guess, did, do you how much what is your regular like workout time wise regimen? Do you space out your workouts? Do you dedicate an hour? Do you just
No.
continuously find yourself randomly just
Yep.
doing an activity? It
Yeah, it's random. It really depends on how I feel. If I'm not feeling well, I don't work out. When I go to the gym, I'm probably there 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes at the most. I don't do marathon workouts. It's not necessary. Some people say they go to the gym for 2 hours, and that's from a sports science point of view, it's not a good idea for the average person to do that. I
Mhm.
mean, it creates all sorts of overuse injuries if you're not used to it. The things I've seen in some gyms are insane. People doing exercises the wrong way, um, and it's not just that it looks terrible when they're exercising the wrong way. But if you're moving your body in a way it's not meant to be moved, you're causing damage if you do it
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
Yes.
So for those people going to the gym for multiple hours, rethink what you're doing. The other half of that is sometimes people will do one set, let's say bicep curls, and then they'll spend 5 minutes on their phone, and then they'll do another set, and it doesn't work that way. You might as well just do one set and go home instead of waiting 5 minutes in between every light set that you do.
How
If
much
you
time would you say you need to give between?
Depends on the intensity. If you're doing like a light set, you only need about 30 seconds, maybe a minute at the most in between sets. Power
Mhm.
lifters need about 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes in between sets, but they're moving hundreds and hundreds of pounds
Right.
with each rep.
Yes. Yes.
If you're only using a 5 pound dumbbell, you do not need a minute in between sets. It's a waste of time, and you will not get very
Mhm.
much benefit from it. The average person for daily life, they need more muscle endurance. They need some strength, absolutely. But a lot of people need more muscle endurance, and they don't realize it.
And what does that mean for those that don't know what muscle endurance or
Um,
what type of
the
even workout
yeah,
you utilize?
the ability to keep going or keep doing something. Say they don't usually walk around the mall and they have to walk around the mall Christmas shopping, and then their legs
Mhm.
are sore the next day. It's
Oh
because
yeah.
they
Yeah.
didn't have enough muscle endurance to keep going. Or
Mhm.
if they're um, hanging up Christmas lights and they have to hold their arms up or keep lifting their arms up to, hook up the lights.
Yeah.
Their shoulders do not have enough muscle endurance to do that. Stuff like that. If they're running around with their kids or grandkids or playing baseball, that's not really that much strength involved. That's usually muscle endurance. So,
And it just takes training,
yeah,
just
yeah,
doing it, the consistency. So
right.
for me, when
Consistency.
I during my crazy anorexic phase, I exercised a lot. So I
Okay.
was the exerciser as well. And so I would do 2 3 hour workouts because I was trying to just get rid of the pounds or the sweat or whatever. I
Yeah.
the calories that I had just ingested, I needed to somehow get them out of me, and I did that, and I would do it through yoga things or just moving fast or just gym, whatever I could. I just had to keep moving. So now, back where I am today, I'm trying really hard to learn that consistency because it's really hard,
Good.
because I do know what I did then was not right, and you burn out. You can't
Yeah.
maintain, you can't. It's just not possible. You
No.
stop enjoying it, and it
Yeah.
becomes just like the endurance you drill in yourself is all about burning the calories. It has nothing to do with actually finding space within your body and the movement that comes with it. It was mostly just that type of endurance that now I need to break. I'm working on that, breaking that association that exercising I can do it throughout the day. I can do little things, and that all goes towards a much bigger picture. But it's really hard. That's why I was really probing you with those questions, because I'm so curious, because
Yeah.
I'm really trying to get back into a more consistent thing.
It,
It's all very new to me.
you can be consistent without having an exact schedule. As long as you do something several times a week. Doesn't have to be the same thing, and it doesn't have to be the same time of day or even the same length of time, but just do something moving, some sort of moving a couple of
Mhm.
times a week.
Oh, I like that. Okay,
Yeah,
I got that covered. I have that covered.
good. Do
I'll
ballet with
ride
your
my
daughter.
bike. I'll go for. I obviously walk all the time. Walking is always. But I was just wondering with stretches, and I'm trying to get a little bit more flexibility,
Okay.
and that's where I'm kind of being like, I can't go on in this like being, because I push myself. I can push myself and go into a split even when I shouldn't be in the split.
Okay. Most people don't stretch enough.
Yes. My daughter's teaching me. She loves stretching.
Okay,
All she
good.
does is just stretch throughout the day, whenever she can, whenever she'll just stretch. And she really has a really healthy, consistent, like a routine that she
Okay.
does, and I can see the progress she's making, and I'm so inspired that I'm like, I want to be doing that too. How do you do that?
That's
I,
good.
I look at my mind on that she has so naturally that I don't know if I lost from the trauma or probably traumatizing myself and just overworking and torturing my body. That self-hate really doesn't number.
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So yeah, still learning that one. um Sorry, I needed a minute. And while I take this minute to center myself, I do want to introduce the show, do a little break, and welcome everyone that's been listening to Wild the Podcast. Tonight we have Karen Goeller. She is an author, an actor, a gymnast, a coach. Throw in anything I missed because it's so much and it's so amazing, Karen. I'm just so inspired by you. And I always love having you on the show. And I hope you can come back on the show again. I believe we have about 15 minutes to go. And
Yeah.
I wanted to take that little chance to reintroduce and our conversation. And we've been discussing how Karen has survived so much from cancer to getting hit. I can't even describe it. Was it like one of those really big beams that came down? And
No, it was actually a board that was holding in an air conditioner in a
oh,
third-story window, and the winds
oh,
were blowing at 30 miles an hour,
yeah.
and it literally hit me on top of the head and basically pushed me down towards the ground. And I was very strong, um, still doing some bodybuilding at the time. So the doctor said I was lucky it didn't kill me.
No,
So,
I would say the same. How
yeah.
long did the recovery take?
Well, I still have damage
No, I understand
25
that.
years later.
Well, I
So,
imagine, but
yeah,
what
yeah.
to get from
Um,
A to even
the,
just B to moving and
the first 8 years was extremely hard. And the reason I can remember it was 8 years is because I think I was 32 when it happened. And I remember a picture of myself that my mother took at my 40th birthday party. And I was still very like frail looking. I think I looked more healthy at my 50th birthday than I did at my 40th. So it took a long time to kind of feel like myself again, I'd say. I remember when I did the swing set fitness books with my nephew, the day we were shooting those photos, him
Mhm.
doing the exercises, that was the first day that I actually felt like myself again. Um, and that was, I think, 2006. So that
Wow,
was 6 years.
6 years after.
Yeah, that was 6 years that I really almost lost who I was. So that was like a nice little spark that reignited. And then I kept working to try to get back to feeling like more like myself each day. But that was, a big thing for me.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah, of course. That's such a long healing journey.
yeah, but the pain didn't go away. But
So
at
is the
least
pain
the
still
mental
on the
part,
same level or
it's different now because the scoliosis is very severe. I have a
mhm.
45-degree curve in my spine.
Oh,
But the herniated and bulging discs, I think, have either resolved themselves or the scoliosis pain just kind of like that's what I feel the most.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, I don't. My back will never be good ever again, unless I have surgery, and that costs more than my condo.
Wow.
Yeah,
And insurance does not cover.
no, not the whole thing.
I
No.
see.
So
Wow. Is it special scoliosis or what is this
yeah,
surgery?
very few surgeons will do scoliosis surgery on an adult, especially my age. There are a few that do it, but it's a very, very big surgery. They basically rebuild your spine,
Hmm. Hmm.
in a way. Uh, there are a couple of different ways they do it. I don't even remember the different ways. but it is a big surgery. So
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know much about scoliosis aside from Judy Blume books that I read growing up.
oh,
There was a character that was battling scoliosis, and that was kind of my mind, like learning a little bit about it. But I know that there was a brace that is worn, and I imagine that's for children, usually to correct the spine. Is that what?
yeah,
But then
yeah. There
if
are
you're already
braces.
if your spine is fully developed, you can't.
You
You can't.
can decrease the curve a bit,
Mhm.
but a brace when you're not growing will probably not make your spine perfectly straight unless the curve is very small. A curve like mine, maybe a brace would fix the curve a degree or two, I think. I'm not a medical expert, but it would maybe help a little bit, but certainly not to a completely straight spine. I have a Scoliosis activity
Mhm.
suit. It's actually, it looks like a brace, and it's designed for people with S-curve scoliosis like I have, who want to still be active. And it basically, it's a four-piece brace, and it anchors at your thigh and goes all the way up over your shoulder. And it basically reteaches some of the muscles um, to act, I guess, the right way or move the right way when you're moving. So if you're walking, it basically reteaches the spine how to walk correctly. And that has helped me quite a bit. And then there's another newer brace, but it's super expensive. And it's a stiff brace, not like mine. It
Mhm.
basically pushes at the point of the curve back in, and that's I think that one has had such good success, but those doctors do not take any insurance, and it's
Oh
very
wow.
expensive. Yeah. It seems
That
the
is
better ones
really.
aren't covered by
I'm always
insurance.
baffled when insurance is not accepted for something like
Yeah.
spine treatment. That is such an important thing
Yeah.
to. It's your base. It's your
Yeah.
core.
Yeah, but they don't take insurance. I've gone to their lectures, and they
Yeah.
are brilliant, those doctors, and it makes perfect sense the way they do the brace. And they've shown,
Hmm.
before and after x-rays and, of their patients and stuff like that. And they do have success. None of the patients, the x-rays, um, the spines were perfectly straight. But there were differences, visible differences.
Hmm.
Um, but they don't take insurance. So I think they're missing out on a lot of patients because of that.
I think so too. I mean, my views on insurance. I think everyone should have it, and it should be
Yeah.
accepted, and everyone should have the treatment they need, and it shouldn't
Yeah.
be rich versus poor or middle class or anything. It just everyone should have the same level of health insurance because we're all surviving, right? We're all
Yeah.
human. It's just
Yeah.
basic human empathy that we. I was always baffled by it. I even remember watching, movies as a child where the father is trying to rescue his son who needs this huge heart transplant and no insurance is covering it. I think it was a
Yeah.
Denzel Washington movie. That one really got to me. He held everyone hostage. They finally got the heart. He's battling. And after I saw that, and that was when I was still a kid, I imagine everybody in the world probably had the same feelings I did. Obviously, all the politicians and everybody. And then I was really surprised that nobody. I mean, if anything, I think it's gotten worse. The
Yeah.
cover.
I think so too. I think it got worse. But it is sad. I mean, I think everyone should have an opportunity to have issues resolved and, diseases taken care of. There are
And
people out there with
it shouldn't be.
diabetes that
Am I
can't get the
gonna get
medicine.
healthy or am I gonna?
Mhm.
Nobody wants to get healthy and then be homeless, right? And it shouldn't be
Right.
one or the other. That's not
Right.
really.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those two should belong together, right? Everyone
Yeah.
deserves to have a home and everyone deserves to have health insurance or
Yeah.
treatment that they need for whatever their ailment is.
Exactly. I agree.
And with your every the cancer, the trauma, did you have positive experience with health insurance since we're on this health insurance?
No,
What was, did you have
no,
to pay
I
out
was
of
only
pocket?
25. I was 25 and I owned my gym. I didn't have health insurance. I've only had decent health insurance for 1 year in my life, one
Oh,
adult year.
wow.
Yeah. I've had so many medical bills over the years. You know, I don't have any of those medical bills anymore. I've paid all of them off. But
That
I've
is insane.
spent a lot
Wow.
of money. I used to spend after my accident, when I was on that powerful nerve medicine, I was spending over $1,000 a month just on medicine.
Just on medicine?
Yeah,
And no
yeah.
insurance coverage, just straight
No.
up.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I had AAA, you know, the auto, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right.
Hmm.
They actually had a program where you would get a discount on medicines, like at the
Hmm.
pharmacy.
Yeah.
So I used to get discounts using my AAA card at
Hmm.
pharmacies. I don't know if they
Wow.
still do that now, but this was, you know, back in 2000. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
mm.
I don't know
So
what
yeah,
they
no, I mean,
do.
the amount of money I spent on medical and going to doctors and paying, you know, upfront, um, cash for all these doctors. I used to pay cash for a rheumatologist every like 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is a lot. That
it's a
is,
lot of money. I mean, I've used a lot of my money just to pay medical bills, which a lot of people have.
yeah.
But yeah,
No, that's a lot. That
yeah,
is, that is really unfair, I think, because it's one thing to you're surviving, you're healing,
yeah,
and then to push yourself to work and go and not just to maintain a home, but to cover this excessive those excessive medical bills just because you're
yeah.
trying to heal. And I think it is counterintuitive with the healing, but you manage that. Wow. So really
Thanks.
impressive.
Thank
You're
you.
an inspiration in every essence of the word. I think I've said it a lot of times and I can't stop saying it because you really are. And
Thank
in the
you.
last 10 minutes on Wild the podcast, I do want you to take the time to really just promote your books. I want the audience, I think there's so much amazing content in there that
Thank
everyone
you.
can benefit that is listening. And I do hope they buy the books and the books just keep getting, get on the New York Times bestseller list or whatever,
That
just
would be great.
nationwide, and that every gym uses them because you really deserve that platform. You deserve your voice to be really heard and your legacy to just continue because
Thank
you're
you.
the real survivor I'd want me to train, if anything.
I have a cute couple of books I did not show yet, but I don't have all of my gymnastics books here. I
That's
didn't
okay.
show.
Show what you got.
Yeah,
And I remember we discussed Mrs. Voice, and
yeah.
I know we covered that more on the first podcast, but let's discuss a little bit, give
Oh,
Mrs.
okay.
Voice a little credit. Why
Okay.
not? I think it's such a beautiful story
Thank you.
and how you created it.
So that's about a young singer that's bullied at school, in
Mhm.
grammar school, and then, well, in the book, it's just grammar school, but we are producing the film too. So
Yes,
the viewers,
I recall you were discussing that on our first
yeah,
podcast. You
yeah,
want to take a minute, just kind of dive into that topic if you want?
sure. So we're going to roll the cameras very soon, actually. I don't know,
Congratulations.
thanks. I don't know if I had the production company signed on before when I spoke to you before, but we are rolling the cameras pretty soon. We're doing casting soon. It's coming together. We're definitely at the next phase. It's coming
Hmm.
together pretty soon. So if people start going to the website, missy'svoice.com, in a couple of weeks, they might see some updates on there. Uh, they might see some updates on social media. I'll probably be doing more interviews just for the book and film in the near
I'd
future.
love to have you back
So,
and just discuss the film and the book. You're such
okay.
a multifaceted person that there's no limit to what we can discuss, right? There's just so much I want to keep talking. So of course I'd love to have you promoting Missy's Voice and really
Oh,
discussing
good.
what made you create it,
Okay.
and so on. Yeah, definitely.
All right. That's great. I'll
So
definitely come back.
yeah, definitely. We'll do a full Missy's Voice discussion theme. I think that
Okay.
would be great.
Yeah,
And
because we can talk about bullying too.
exactly. And
Yeah.
that's such an important topic. And I think that topic never really goes away. And I
Yeah.
think the more we talk about it, hopefully it raises more awareness and hopefully more parents are even attuned because with kids, you know, a lot they're like little sponges that run around and suck it all in even when you think they're not sucking it in, they're still sucking all that weird, you know, whatever information. And so it works, I guess, both ways. Kids learning from really what they're seeing and then bringing it forward. And you know, if you're not that nice to your kid, there the kid is gonna go and not be so nice to the other kid that's
Yeah. That's
um
true.
at school. So really, it's no kid any day just wakes randomly up and says, "Hey, I'm gonna just be mean." You know, they
Yeah.
have to see it somewhere, and it's unfortunate. But I really do hope we get a chance to do an episode on Missy's voice. I am
Oh,
so
good.
coffee today. I apologize.
Oh,
Usually my voice is not so irritated. I think it's the pollen. My eyes started watering. I have this beautiful tree. It has a beautiful smell, but every time I get whiffs of it,
oh.
the allergies just come full force.
Allergies do that.
Yeah, yeah, they do. So last 5 minutes before we say goodnight to all of our audience on Wild the Podcast, airing live on Just TV, Meta TV. Here with Karen Goeller as we're going to say goodnight. She's going to show us a few more books, tell us how to get a hold of her. And of course, she will be joining us on future episodes on Wild the Podcast.
Okay, so
So, last
here's
one. Yeah,
another one.
it's lesson learned. Oh, I love that. Do you illustrate yourself?
This one I sort of did. I actually purchased the clip art, and then I let me show you a picture. And then I added the phrase. Like I didn't
Oh,
draw
amazing.
that
Yeah.
those little girls but you know, I put them together and did all the text and did the whole story. I have a gymnastics version of this too. And
Oh,
the gymnastics version, it's actual photos of my gymnasts that I've made into silhouettes.
that
So
is so cool.
yeah. But these are clip art, but the gymnastics version, I don't have any copies here, are actual photos that I,
And where can the audience find your books, buy your books? Do you have a website?
yeah, gymnasticsbooks.com. And that leads to my Amazon page that has, I think, like 19 of my books. I've had 20.
Gymnasticsbooks.com. That is easy.
Yeah.
I will even remember that and I forget everything that I hear.
If they want to go straight to this one, gymnastics, drills, and conditioning, it's gymnasticsdrills.com. If they want to go to the Legs Plus, then it's legsplus.com. If they want to go to this one,
Oh, that is pretty.
thanks.
Oh, wow.
It's
And that's you.
lymphedema.
You look amazing.
Thanks. That's lymphedemabook.com. But I mean, you can really see the entire list on Amazon just by typing in gymnasticsbooks.com.
Gymnasticsbooks.com.
You know, in Google.
Yep.
Yeah, in Google. And I have, like I said, I think I have like 19 of them. So there are more than what I just showed you. I just don't have them all here in the office.
Well, that is amazing. And again, thank you so much for being on the podcast. We appreciate you. I can't wait to dive in next time you're here into Missy's voice, bullying, what you inspired you to write, the hardship of being a writer, and all the fun stuff, because obviously I love talking about writing. And last time you were here, I don't know what I just did with my own book, but last time you were here, I didn't publish yet, but officially, I am published, and it's going to look a little weird as I sneak away, but I don't know what I did with the book. I was sitting on it. So I actually do have the book.
Oh, that's great.
Ashton was the editor and publisher. I already did it, but yes, we're, you know,
Good.
392 pages of pure memory. Every single thing I could remember from, all the fun immigration from Soviet Union to the US,
That's
addiction,
amazing.
and living, with the Harvard elite, because that's how we actually came to be in America, because my
Wow.
father was working for Harvard University. So the cover, I hope, explains it. We designed it, Ashley and I. This picture I took myself.
Good.
So, yes, I actually did it.
Good.
And I know
That's
after
good.
you've been talking to, I was even more inspired to just keep writing and just to finish it. And I'm so happy it's out and just done. And again, thank you for the inspiration. You
You're
really
welcome.
gave
Wow.
us a lot of really great advice. We
Good.
followed through, we listened, and we did it. So
Good. Congratulations. That's amazing.
thank you. And we're going to say goodnight. I'm sorry, I took a little bit of your commercial with my book commercial, but
That's good, though. I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
and I'm happy for you because, again,
Thank
you've written so much, you've done so much, and I can't wait for the discussion on Missy's voice. So everybody that's listening, tune in. It's going to be a great time, and we will discuss books and more books and the fun facts of publishing. So
Okay.
have a great night. Yeah, have a great night for tonight, and tune in next time to Wild the.
Oh, sorry, rambunctious child. Just calm yourself down.